Welcome back to Roanoke, Virginia, as we get ready for the first round of side-by-side monster truck racing. And none other than John Pyatt in the legendary Bigfoot Ford retained the #1 qualifying spot to give us a Ford versus Chevy confrontation in this first pair. Pyatt out in front, but Wisniewski gets sideways, breaks an axle off, and is upside down. The crews on the scene immediately checking the truck. The engine has shut down. And now checking on Wisniewski himself, still inside the cab of the Buffalo Tremor. Mike Wine, the driver of the Jersey Outlaw, the first one to the cab of the bright red Chevrolet. Now John Pyatt is out of Bigfoot and trying to assist the Chevy driver out of the truck. A tense moment, as apparently Wisniewski can barely get unstrapped from the 5-point belt harness. And now Pyatt is literally trying to pull him out of the cab of the Chevrolet, as the ground crews already prepare to right the truck on the floor of the Roanoke, Virginia Coliseum. It looks like Chris Chapman has gotten to him on the floor.
Don, I know you've got to be totally upset about this. This is the first time you've had it in this condition.
Yeah, I always keep the truck in good condition. This is the first time anything like that ever happened to me. I come close, but never like this.
What happened?
I don't know. I just went all out over the hill. I wasn't going to lose. I gave it my best shot, and it seemed like it just shot straight up in the air. And it caught the back bumper or something and just pulled it over.
Nothing hurt?
No, I got a hard head.
How about your feelings?
Feelings, that's about it. A lot of money, but that's it.
Well, I'm sorry about the bad luck, but we're glad you're okay, Don.
Thank you.
Both machines lining up the stage. Remember, those dirt moguls just off the starting line have really made this a bizarre acrobatic battle. Obvious problems for Garza. And Deppy in the whiskey business machine will advance easily to the semifinal round. Now keep in mind that the overkill Ford suffered some chassis damage during qualifying, and that damage was apparently never rectified in the pit area between rounds. On the slow motion replay, you can see Deppy in the same beautiful form he displayed during qualifying, and the whiskey business truck may well be a serious competitor in this battle. Meanwhile, the next pair of machines pulls to the line as the crowd anxiously awaits another showdown. Bennett Clark taking his time, backing up and staging now. He's found the site he wants. A clear line to the finish line. Jerry Richmond waiting patiently in the Weapon 1 Chevrolet from Ohio. And it's a battle. But the Clydesdale pulls it out with a huge leap at the finish line, bouncing to a stop with a semi-final round berth. The whole shot apparently went to the Weapon 1 Chevrolet, but it was the Clydesdale passing him in the air in an incredible come-from-behind win here in the first round of monster truck competition. And elated Bennett Clark knows he'll still be in the running. Another door-to-door battle, but it's Fuchs who comes away with the win as Wine stumbles when the truck actually nosedives into the crushed car takeoff ramp. And Wine is as stymied as the spectators as to what caused that nosedive. Let's take a look in slow motion. He comes hard over that dirt cord, but there you see a part of the chassis actually broke when it landed from the initial takeoff dirt mogul. That's where the problem was, and Wine must realize that at this point. When we come back, it's more side-by-side monster truck mayhem, plus stuntman Brian Carson in the wildest ride yet. Don't go away. The semi-final round of monster truck action here in Roanoke, Virginia has the crowd literally in a frenzy as the machines head out for battle. It'll be Ken Deppy in the whiskey business Chevrolet taking on the most legendary Ford of them all, John Pyatt at the wheel of Bob Chandler's Bigfoot. The winner of these two semi-final round matchups will advance to the final round. The look of concentration. Bryant trying to continue the Bigfoot win streak. And pulls out the victory by less than half a truck length, and again comes within inches of the retaining wall. You got to give credit to Ken Duffy in the rear-engine Chevrolet. He kept pace all the way, only losing out by a matter of feet at the finish line of this short course. While Bennett Clark lines up on the far side of the floor here at Roanoke. Certainly an interesting battle for both these drivers. They know that they want to win, but they also know that if they do, they'll have to battle Bigfoot for the championship title. Fuchs gets a slight advantage, but here comes the Clydesdale, and an incredibly close battle. They both stop literally a few feet from the wall, but we're going to have to take a look at the replay to determine the winner on this one. Fuchs gets the whole shot in the red Ford in the near lane. Now Bennett Clark in the Clydesdale comes from behind at the finish line. It is Rob Fuchs by a matter of inches. Even the Woodstock, Illinois racer can't believe that the win was by that small of a margin. But the crowd gives him a cheer as he heads into the final round to take on Bigfoot. But in the meantime, back in Minneapolis, we are getting ready to witness a legend in a field in which few have gained success. The one, the only, Brian Carson, one of the greatest daredevils in the history of motorsports exhibition action, is preparing one of his most famous jumps, taking a 4,000-pound passenger car through the air at 65 miles per hour, head-on into a wall of machinery here on the floor of the Metrodome. Carson himself is different than any other daredevil preceding him. In fact, he personifies the difference between a stuntman who presents the aura of illusion and a daredevil who cheats death itself. His job will be to take a 4,000-pound passenger car and crash it into that pyramid of machines without the benefit of safety equipment while making a right-hand turn. The car actually gets sideways on his first attempt as he moves up to the ramp. Carson knows that this particular stunt may be one of the most dangerous yet on a concrete floor covered with dirt dust, in which he must make a hard right turn at speed and hit ramps perfectly that he cannot see when he starts his run. There you see the target, his objective to hit the X marked on the second car from the top of that 40-foot high pyramid of metal. And now Carson, fully aware more than ever that the floor is extremely slippery, backs the car up to the staging area. Keep one thing in mind as the car backs up. Carson's biggest objective is to survive this jump. Why? Because he refuses to use any safety equipment other than a standard lap belt. No roll cage, no neck collar, no special braces to keep the car intact.